It is day 7 of the John Muir Trail, which means I've been out here living in the wilderness, rolling in the dirt for a full week now. Today's going to have a little bit longer of an introduction just because I don't really know what's going to happen today. I'm at the camp near the junction down to Muir Trail Ranch, which I've never been to, so I don't know how this is going to go. It's the most southerly resupply stop on the trail. It's just like a mile or so off trail. There are resupply options further south, but they require going over a big pass, doing many miles, like maybe 8, down to a trailhead, and then hitching a ride down a long, windy mountain road into town to resupply, and then reversing it. So this is going to be my resupply stop for the rest of the trail. It's an expensive resupply stop. It costs like $80 to get them to hold your food there, and it's a less fun version than the one I just passed a day ago with Vermilion Valley Ranch, or resort, excuse me, because this is more of a ranch. This is more of like a trail ride resort. So I don't think there's any roads in there. I think they have to pack everything in there. You've got to send your food in buckets. I don't think there's showers. I don't think there's laundry. There is a little store with some supplies but no food. But again, you're carrying your food for the rest of the trail. So this was the option. The other problem is I don't know how much time I'm going to spend there. There are hot springs nearby, but I've got mixed reviews of these hot springs because they're a little difficult to get to. They may not be worth it because you have to go over a river, and apparently it's a fairly big descent as well to get in there, and they might not even be that good. So I don't know about that either. The other problem is the passes are going to start to get higher and higher and higher the further south I go. And the next one is Muir Pass. And I don't want to hit them in the afternoon because I haven't had any thunderstorms yet, but that doesn't mean there won't be a thunderstorm tomorrow or the next day. They do just kind of come on suddenly in the Sierra. So I don't want to be hitting these really high passes during thunderstorms. So I need to be hitting them morning, early afternoon at the latest. Muir Pass is about 20 miles away from the ranch. So I either have to... Here's the other problem. I'm way ahead of schedule. I've been trying to hold back a little bit, and I still almost did like 20 miles yesterday. But I'm not going to I'm going to hit my exit point too early is the problem. So I've got to figure out if I'm going to spend all day at Muir Trail Ranch. I'm not sure there's enough to hold me there all day. If I'm going to spend most of the day and do a little bit of trail, or I don't know. I'm either going to have to do about a half day of hiking and then really push it tomorrow, or spend most of the day at Muir Trail Ranch and then do an easy day tomorrow and then go over Muir Pass the next day. So I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I go to Muir Trail Ranch. I'm going to shut up right now and I'm going to get started. Okay, so this is the junction. I just came from Selden Pass, which is back up this way. If you remember, there's a steep descent yesterday, and I'm heading towards Kings Canyon National Park eventually. But first, there's not even a sign that says Muir Trail Ranch. It's just Florence Lake down here, and it is a very steep descent. I've got to basically, you can kind of see it here, basically just finish that descent into that valley I was showing yesterday. So what I might do is I might try the hot springs adventure first. I might be doing some talking quietly because I'm sure there's plenty of people kind of camped down in the area, and then after that pick up my bucket. But first I'm at least gonna check out the route to the hot springs. If the ford looks really dumb, I'm not gonna do the ford to go to the hot springs, but again, we'll see what happens. Okay, another trail junction. Going straight goes to the hot springs. Going right goes to Muir Trail Ranch. There is actually a sign swinging around just past here, posted on that post, that all hiker services are on the Hot Springs Trail. I did read somewhere that they constructed a new building specifically for the hiker buckets. closer to the hot springs. So I guess this is the direction I'm going anyway. Alright, so this is all a little bit confusing. I just passed the hiker the hiker bucket supply area, which is right here. There is this map. This gentleman is camping, and he's kind of helping me out a little bit. But I think I go straight on this trail. It will take me across the river. There's so many trails around here, and most of them are not labeled. So, gotta cross the river to get to these hot springs. The things we do for hot springs. Alright, there is a rope over here to help with crossing. Doesn't look like it needs it. I'll kind of stay closer to the rope though. Looks like a pretty easy crossing. Doesn't look like it'll be too deep. But again, this is a really dry year. Closest thing I've had to crossing, like a real crossing on this trail so far. It's not very deep. It is a little swift. And then there's this lovely barbed wire. It's the property line for Muir Trail Ranch. You also have to cross over that carefully. Things we do for hot springs. Honestly, it's been a little fun so far. Man, you have to work to get to these hot springs. I came out kind of over by those rocks over there, and there didn't look like there was an actual trail leading to anything. There's this little trail through this meadow here. And I just backtracked to show this. It just comes up right away. Right here. This is definitely a hot spring pool. I can see the steam coming off of it. It's cool. It's a natural hot spring pool, so it's muddy at the bottom. Can take a look around and see if there's any others, but no one is here. No one is here, which makes me so happy. I love having hot springs to myself. Again, usually they're pretty crowded and there's naked people. I actually usually bring a swimsuit. I don't go into hot springs naked. But yeah, I'm excited now. Oh, this is so cool. You can see it bubbling up. Yeah, this would get really muddy with a lot of people in here. You can probably see the steam. I didn't really check too thoroughly those other pools, because how often do you get a hot spring to yourself? It's very rare. A pro tip, it's more likely to happen in the morning. Yeah, I don't know who was complaining about this. I don't know what they have to complain about. I mean, it's a little adventurous to get out here, but that was part of the fun. And it's a nice hot spring. It's a natural hot spring. This isn't a pool. Like, it's a natural hot spring. It's a hot spring in the middle of nature. It's going to be muddy. It's going to have bugs. It's awesome. I'm so glad I came here. I don't know why I've been so grumpy in the mornings lately. This has totally been worth it. So I'm just going to sit here and relax for a little bit and let my muscles soak. This has been pretty fun. Glad I came here. Alright, maybe it's because I had it to myself, but the hot springs get a thumbs up for me. Even when I was sitting there, I saw a hummingbird in the trees, and there was a bright blue dragonfly that was just skimming above the water. And it's in the middle of a meadow in the Sierra, surrounded by peaks. It's beautiful. It's a little bit of an adventure to get out here, but like the grand scheme of this trail, not really that big of an adventure. So I would say that's well worth it. Just got to make myself a way across that not deep river to go get my there are mosquitoes here, to go get my hiker resupply. There we go. All right, here's my resupply bucket full of nutritious goods. We got a charging station here, a little store, and I have way too much food for the next couple days. So this is also a problem. Problem. Very much problem. Okay, I'm leaving Muir Trail Ranch. There's no way I could spend all day there. So I'm gonna have to do some half days or something coming up, try to hold back on the miles. But positives and problems that came out of that. Positives were yesterday my water bladder sprung a leak, and they gave me some silicone sealant to repair it. My trowel went missing at some point yesterday, so I was able to buy a new one at the store. I have all my food, and my water, everything weighs 27 pounds. Pretty good. Problems that came up are I'm not eating enough food. Half of my resupply I'm using for this next leg, and I gave a whole lot of food away to the donation box. This is something that doesn't happen in regular life. It only happens out here on the trail. I think the elevation has something to do with it, but I don't want to eat my food. It's so weird. So I need to eat more food. And then another problem is right before I got on the trail, there was a lightning strike fire near Mount Whitney on the east side, and that's my exit. So Whitney Portal is my exit. The road to Whitney Portal and everything around Whitney Portal is closed. It was supposed to open tomorrow, but then the fire just kind of took off, and now it's only at 35% containment. So as of now, my exit point is closed. Hopefully they get a handle on the fire, but again, I'm way out here in the backcountry. With the exception of my inReach, that's my last communication. It's Muir Trail Ranch here, so something future me will have to worry about when I get closer to Mount Whitney, but I might not be able to exit Mount Whitney, and potentially might not even be able to summit Mount Whitney. But again, that's several days from now. Can't do anything about it now, just have to wait until I get to Crabtree Meadow. So with that said, I'm gonna get back on the trail, and it's gonna follow the, I think, south fork of the San Joaquin River. It's gonna follow a river. Well, I'm pretty confused about borders. I'm possibly leaving the John Muir Wilderness. I don't remember entering it. Thought it was still in Ansel Adams. Okay, yeah, this is the other side of the ridge. Entering Kings Canyon National Park from the John Muir Wilderness. And at some point I transitioned from Ansel Adams Wilderness, which I thought was pretty big, to John Muir. Turns out it wasn't that big, it was just I'd transitioned and I did not know. Alright, Kings Canyon National Park. Now this is a cool section of trail. It runs right along the San Joaquin. Look at that beautiful river. Right as this kind of canyon area narrows. Really, really cool part of the trail. Very beautiful. A little more of this narrow section of the river. It doesn't all look like this, but this is definitely the coolest part. Yeah, sometimes it goes back into the trees a little bit, but the trees aren't as impressive as this. So that's why I'm filming this. Currently climbing out of that San Joaquin River corridor, getting nice views of it now. Right across the way, there's a waterfall still flowing. That's really cool. Really beautiful, a lot cooler even just up these switchbacks. That corridor was like a heat sink, and as beautiful as it was, I was not particularly happy going through it. But climbing up to Evolution Valley, it is a little cooler. Here we go. Closest thing I've had to Cascades all trip. I'm on my way up to Evolution Valley, so there should be Evolution Creek. There should be a creek crossing coming up at some point. I've never done the creek crossing before. In big snow years, you need to use the meadow where the volume of water is spread out a little bit more. So first time crossing Evolution Creek for me. But it's kind of fun to see the cascade in the meantime. Let's see how deep this gets. About to the knees. Yeah, that was a little deep. Not too bad though. Still making my way up through Evolution Valley. This is kind of what it's looked like. It's been rocky and wooded, and then you got one side of the valley and then the other side of the valley. I've been hearing a roar for a while, and I'm glad I stopped here because there's a waterfall that I didn't even notice. So I was looking at the rocks. Sometimes you have to stop and look around. So I'm probably gonna hike as close to the end of Evolution Valley as possible, because the next step up is Evolution Lake, and from there on out it's mainly lakes, cold lakes, until Muir Pass. So I'd like to stay a little bit warm tonight, so I might try just going to the edge of the valley here and seeing what's available. If nothing's available, I'll head up to the lake. Coming up on this gorgeous meadow, and look what's in the middle of this gorgeous meadow. Mind the nets. There's a deer grazing by the water. Pretty nice, especially as the sun's getting kind of golden, and this kind of goldenish green meadow. Still got blue skies. Got the pine trees all around, and here's the rest of the herd. Wow, look at this. This is so pretty. So gorgeous. Hello, Kings Canyon National Park. Very cool. Alright, I'm trying to get low to the ground so you can fully appreciate this campsite. It's right below the climb to Evolution Lakes, and overlooking what on the map is labeled as the Hermit. And then, if I stand up and turn around, try to do it slowly, right behind the campsite is, way back in these trees, is a waterfall. Oh, it's so hard to see on camera. Way easier to see with the eyes. But that'll lull me to sleep tonight. Pretty awesome. That means day 7 is finished. It was very interesting day 7. And it wasn't very many miles after Muir Trail Ranch, but it was all climb. So it is a little exhausting. I'm a little exhausted, but I'm in a good spot to go over Muir Pass tomorrow.